guys, welcome back to our talks. Lights on, lights off, lights off. Okay, tell me how you prefer it anyway. I hope mnaniona vizuri. Nakatu usingizi? I hope not. So hi guys, karibuni sana in our live real talk video. Thank you for joining. Hi Andy, leo mwingia class mapema. Hi, come in. Karibuni sana. I see you guys. Today we're going to be talking about young parenting. I'm basing my live on the fact that majority of us are young, between the age of probably 18 to 35. So we're just starting up families and we're just figuring this whole parenting thing out. So I really need this to be an interesting conversation, and I hope that everyone who joins has something to say. We want your opinions, we want your experiences. I am not as experienced as majority of the people here, and I am hoping that everyone contributes to this. Yeah, so karibuni sana, thank you for joining us. How has your week been? Aki naona kama nilikuja live kitambo. Like I didn't come last week, kama what is wrong? I feel like I have been away for so long, but I hope you've been good. I hope this quarantine is taking you well as it's taking me well. So yeah, how have you been? Just share with me how your week has been. What have you been up to? How are you surviving? The 30 days are almost over. Are you excited? I think we are halfway through the 30 days. Yeah. So today's topic was triggered mostly by the outbreak of teenage pregnancies that just ililipuka too, and then everyone was like, oh, children are safer when they're at school than they are when they're with their parents. And I was like, wow, okay, that's too much judgment in one small statement like that, because we assume that parents must have control of their kids. I don't know, I'm not of that opinion, and neither am I against it. I just want to know what you think about it. And yeah, so let's have this conversation. Hi Andy, karibu sana. Hi Maggie, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. Hi Brian, karibu sana. Andy anasema I missed you a lot. I missed you guys a lot too. Niliwamiss sana sana. Alafu jana, yesterday PLC was just so unfair. Stima zilikuwa zinashinda zikipotea zikirudi, and then the moment zilirudi there was a match, so I couldn't come online. Okay, so I decided I'll come today, but then I said at 9, alafu I figured if I'm going to be talking to parents, most of them are watching news at 9. So ndo maana tumeingia 9:20, 9:30. Hi Patrick, karibu sana. How are you doing? I'm doing good myself. I've had a good week. I have had really an eventful week. When you're staying indoors, there isn't much that you're doing. There isn't much going on. But I feel like I can't complain, okay? So let me know how you're doing. Maggie, I am good. How have you been? How has your week been? Joshua Kenya anasema, but teenage pregnancy, let me pass until mine comes. I'm listening. No, Joshua, you're a part of this. You might have a daughter or a niece or a cousin, a teenager somewhere, or your neighbor's daughter, These things, don't take these things so personally. Don't say I just have sons, so I don't have to care. Those sons are responsible for those pregnancies. Okay, it takes two to tango. So Joshua usijiondoe. Okay. Hi Liz, karibu sana. Andros is watching, karibu sana. Thank you so much. I know some of us have been waiting for this live for so long, and I would really want us to begin. Shikoma ingia anasema hi sister. Hi. How are you doing? Umekuaje? Na hii parenting inakupeleka aje na hii quarantine? How do you feel? Do you want your kids to go back to school? Do you think they are safer at school than they are at home? That's basically what I wanna know. And this is because, like I said again, most of the parents in this group right now, they are between the age of, let's say, 19, 21, all the way to 35. That is the category I'm calling young parents, because we still have toddlers. We still have kids between the age of 0, 12, tuko hapo, alafu wengine wetu ndo tunaingiza teenagers, So we are all young parents trying to figure out how to do this whole thing. So Andros anasema, I'm listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to contribute, share with other young parents out there. And let's have this real talk, a real conversation, And I would like to begin with, as a young parent, most likely than not, at this age, majority of us had kids without necessarily planning for it. Staki kusema they were unwanted, and I never want people who say ati unwanted pregnancies. There is never unwanted pregnancy. The only thing you don't do, you don't plan for it, So like the firstborns are usually like, ooh, I missed my period. Ooh, I think. And then you're like, boom, you're pregnant and you have to take care of this baby. And there's this excitement that comes initially. Maybe if you're in the right situation, there are so many other feelings that come, the uncertainty, the not knowing where to start, where to begin. It's usually just a whole, like a whole shenanigan of emotions, and you're not sure how to handle it. But then the baby comes, and then now you have to actually figure out, because ako hapa. Okay, so what do you do? What are some of these challenges? What are some of the expectations you had? Struggles? That's what I want to look at today. So mwandishi anasema hi, karibu sana. Merikongo sasa, long time. How are you doing? I hope you've been good. It's been a moment since we last spoke, so I'm hoping you're good. And make sure to contribute to this conversation. Hi Shiro, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. Dynamis anasema I'm connected. Karibu sana Brian. I really like when you're in my lives because I know you're definitely gonna give people amazing advice, okay? So karibu sana. Muigai Dan, karibu pia. Mwane Kiomboi, karibu. Thank you for joining us. So can we begin this conversation? Okay? Yeah. So I just want to briefly talk about my personal experience first when I got pregnant and how scared I was. And the reason why I feel like any new parent who is starting the journey right now should actually have somebody tell them the reality of it. So people only post on social media and on the Instagram and every other place. They only post for you photos on baby gender reveals, baby showers, photo shoots. There's usually all this glam around pregnancy, and I feel like most of our kids right now, or the girls, the young girls, the teenage, the 18 wakishamaliza form 4, because of the exposure they have on the internet, like Kylie Jenner got a baby at 19, and sijui which other celebrity got a baby at 19 and they're doing amazing. And they have this notion that's all a matter of get pregnant, get a baby, and then boom, you're good. But then they forget that this is a lifelong commitment. Mtoto akishakuja ashakuja. You're a mother, you're a father. There's never changing that. Hata kama hamtaoana, there's never changing the fact that you are now responsible for another living being. You are now responsible for another human that you're supposed to mold, that you're supposed to watch until they're all grown. And the best prayer in our hearts and the hopes that we have is that we raise the best humans ever. They turn out okay. They be successful. Hakuna mzazi anakuanga zile za ati I want my daughter to have a kid at 14. Hakuna. There's nobody who wishes for their son to be, mob justice na uko kwa barabara at 13 or at 16. Nobody wishes for their kid that. Everybody has these high expectations of their kids. Everybody has this prayer in their heart that their kids turn out okay. But the work between giving birth and the moment they turn adult, that is the real struggle. That is the real deal. Yeah, I feel like that's not what a lot of people look at when they're going for the pregnancy thing, or when they're going to, try to get pregnant. Most of them look at the pregnancy experience. That's amazing. Trust me, that is amazing. But wacha upate sasa hapo ndo the real thing inaanzanga. Hi Felix, karibu sana. Dan unasema hi Alice. Hi, how are you doing? Karibu sana. Andy anasema quarantine is good. The weekend was fine. 30 days are almost done. Yeah, just worried because the cases keep increasing. But 50-50, we don't know whether the figures are real, but happy because it has seen this day. I thank God a lot. Waiting for the topic. Okay, thank you so much, Andy. Karibu sana. And I'm glad you're doing well. I also want to know how the others are doing. So tafadhalini, share how your week has been and how you're feeling about this whole mlipuko wa mimba. and this whole kids misbehaving in the estates and all that. Hi TK, unasema hi Ridho, Geithia, Kanua, 9 euro. You're just making fun of my name, but thank you for joining us. Mwandishi anasema karibu sana. Luke anasema ako ndani. Hi Luke. Hi everyone, karibu sana. So yeah, John Nganga, karibu sana pia. Yeah, so like I was saying, there is nobody who gives birth to a kid or who goes to conceive a kid with the notion or the intention or the fears that that kid will turn out bad. Everybody has the best hopes, everybody has the best prayers for their kids until the point they cannot control them anymore. But before they get to that point, then there are so many other things as parents. Either we do wrong, or we have no idea we're doing wrong, or things we do unintentionally that might lead our kids there. And this is not to judge anybody, and this is not to feel like maybe I'm a perfect parent and you're not. It's nothing like that, okay? I'm just trying to point out some of these things that might have led to certain situations or might lead to certain situations, and I'm here to ask you all to contribute according to your experiences and what you feel like. And before I just get deep into these whole struggles, I feel like there's this thing. Brian, I want Brian to mention something on that topic. People say, for instance, that we become our own parents. Okay, we get things from our parents, whether we choose to or not. Like, there are certain aspects of our parents that we carry forward to our generation and we pass down to our kids too. Okay, and one of such beliefs or one of such myths is, if my mom got pregnant at 19, there is a higher chance, or there is a very high probability that at 19, one of her daughters will get pregnant. Okay, and then at that point, the kid of that daughter, if it's a daughter, she will also get pregnant at 19. You get, like, this whole lineage thing, bondage thing that people will carry forward. If it's a guy or it's a boy, if your father was a drunk, then there is a higher probability that one of the sons will be an alcoholic. You know, there's that thing. I have had it so many times in churches, in motivational speaking things. I have had it all over. Please, somebody down here, tell me whether you have had something like that. Because I'm trying to think, if you have 4,000 pregnant teenagers, does that mean that those kids were born by other 4,000 teenager mothers at the year time? You know, I would want to know whether it's related. How your parent was. Does it have anything to do with the kind of parent you are, or the things that happen in your life? You know, like, if you're beaten as a kid, there's a higher chance that you're going to beat up your kids without even controlling it. You know, I feel like these are things people say happen. I would want to know what your opinion of that is. Hi Silaha, karibu sana. Elvis, karibu sana pia. Peter, nakuona, unasema you're listening. Mogora, you're here. Hi, how are you doing? And Mwangi Mwirori is saying, culture, think, can curb issue ya early pregnancy. Please expound on that. Culture, think, can curb. How can culture curb? How I hope you don't mean FGM. I really hope you don't mean FGM. But please tell us what you mean by that. Ngogi anasema, hello, how are you doing? Kiru Muchira anasema, mlipuko wa mimba. These are likely to be high school students who did it with their classmates. I said likely. Statistics sijapatana nazo bado. True, of course, it's not adults, because I am assuming that majority of the adults are out there hustling to provide for these kids, and these kids are home, they are bored, they're full of energy, and so they decide to go for their discussion groups and things happen. True, of course, it's high schoolers to high schoolers, probably, unless we're trying to say then they are adult molesters who are like child molesting kids and getting them pregnant, which I'm hoping is not the case. Okay, so I am assuming it's just a case of teenage to teenage relations. Silas anasema, tell me more. I'm trying here, okay? Luke anasema, Aki unasema mlipuko wa mimba and how the number is high. It's really high, and that is why I came to talk about parenting right now, because 10 years from now or 15 years from now, it will be your kid or my kid. Okay, the toddlers we're looking at right now, adorable, without any, you know, hawajui, a lot of these things. those are the kids that in 20 or in 15, 10 years we'll be talking about, that are going through that. So unless something is done now, unless we do something now, unless we talk about these issues now, then there is no saving our generation. Hi, Ann, karibu sana. Liz anasema 4K. Yeah, it was 4K. And it's only in one county. And my sister, once I told my sister that, my sister actually is the one, she's the one who was like, you're only surprised by the 4K in Machakos County. Have you thought of the counties where the girls are married early? Have you thought of those counties? How many unaccounted for have been married off or have gotten pregnant and nobody's bothering to report because there is no census for pregnant teenagers. There is nothing like that. It was just by coincidence that that number was noted, okay? But there are so many other counties that could have so many similar cases. And we look at this girl, this Kisumu, Kakamega, was it Kakamega? Ama Bungoma? I'm not sure. She got pregnant. She's one among the teenagers who were pregnant, and it was on the news. So she gets pregnant and the parents are like, don't come back to my house with that pregnancy, okay? So what she does, she goes to the baby daddy, like they were in love and she got pregnant and everything. So she goes there 2 days after delivering, okay? So going to the baby daddy is like, no, I don't want you here. And guess what the teenage girl does? She just goes and throws the baby in the latrine. And now she was being arrested today, and she looked so innocent, and then she was like not even caring. You see the fetus akiwa ametolewa kwa the latrine, and you're like, oh my God, what kind of kids are we raising, And then, how are the parents supposed to handle these children now who are pregnant? It's really confusing. It's really, really confusing, and I will want to hear what you say in that is. Look, anareply Mwangi about culture, anasema not really. It's high time to educate teenagers on sex as a topic both in school and at home. True, thank you. And I mentioned previously in a post on my timeline, I posted that we should start talking to our kids about sex as early as 8 years old. And then people were like, 8 years old? So yeah, there's this part of me that feels like you might be introducing a foreign topic to a kid who is so innocent to know what sex is. Or on the other hand, you could be preventing something from happening to a kid who already knows what it is but has no information about it. Do you understand what I mean? Like, it is a two-way situation. It's a 50-50 gamble that as a parent, you might find really, really not appealing to you, okay? You can't tell me an 8-year-old you're sitting her down or him down and you're trying to explain what sex really is. What are even the words that you use, It's really a really tricky thing, but I feel like it's necessary on the other hand, okay? Because at 12, a baby girl starts her menses, and then how then do you handle that? Okay, do you assume it and go like the teachers will handle it, the school matron will handle it? Who is responsible for educating your kid about sex? And if it's you, how well prepared are you to not be exposing them to things that maybe are not on their age? Utajua aje? How do you know what to tell an 8-year-old that you can't tell a 16-year-old, or 16-year-old what you can't tell an 8-year-old? You can't just sit them in the house and start telling, when you go form 3, he na he, and your class 3 baby is seated there. You understand what I mean? It's a tricky thing. Look, I agree with you. People should start teaching their kids about sex as early as possible. But who is there to teach us as parents the right way to actually do it? Because we can't know it all. Nobody taught us. Nobody told us. Most of us are self-taught on these issues, So it's really hard to find the right platform, the right language, the right attitude, the right tone. Because sometimes you feel like pasi angekuambia kitu ni dhambi. There's this tendency to feel like, are you sure? Let me try. And then if it's true, then it will happen. If it's not true, then I'll prove you wrong. So you have to be well conversant. You have to know exactly what to say, how much information to feed them, okay? And how are you gonna feed them that information? You get? I don't know. I am actually personally scared of the time that I have to talk to my kids about it. True. Hi Susan, how are you doing? Johnny, how are you doing? John Esther Wengia, I need to hear your opinion too. Hi Salim, how are you doing? So Liz anasema parents should start teaching sex education to our children. Parents left this to teachers. That's where we lose. True, which is why people are assuming that our kids are safer at school. Which I kind of agree. You know, no offense, and I hope my neighbors do not watch this. Like the next adjacent apartment, we have teenage girls, you know, they're really cute, and we saw them grow up, you know, before they went to high school and everything, and the innocence they had at that point, and then seeing them now during quarantine, like at 7 p.m. you're going for your kitungu and you find them in bushes, you know, squeezed up with a group of guys, and you're like, do I call them out as a parent? Do I leave that for the mother? You know, like if I call her out, will she even listen to me? I'm just a neighbor. You know how people used to say, kitambo ilikuwa, ama even now, people say, you get the baby, it's a community job to raise those kids. But who is the community? If I can't call out that guy, I can't. Honestly, I can't. But then, if she got pregnant, I will feel like, damn, maybe it's that night I found her there, you know? It's it's tricky, Liz. It's tricky. We need to talk to our kids, but then there's that gap we also have as parents. Sisi wenyewe hatujui how to handle it. This is not the generation where if my neighbor, like a friend of my mom, found me on the road, you know, walking with a guy, not even walking, standing. You know how you used to go? We used to go to Saturdays, like church meetings, where you're going for the youth meeting so that you're preparing for tomorrow's service, and then it's over, and then you decide to like stand in, you know, couples to groups, 2 by 2 by the roadside. And it is back then, if a friend of my mom could see you, that was an issue. She had the audacity to call you out and actually tell you to go home. Like, you know, like, and you will feel, wow, that's like my mom. But nowadays, it is not the same thing. It's not that we are living in estates, you know. It's not in the village where everybody knows everybody. We're living in an estate where my neighbor will move out next month and another person will come in with different kids, and my kids will be exposed to different things, you know. Like, you're working so hard as a parent to protect your own kids, but then the environment too, I feel like it's too tricky to raise the morally upright kids that we want, you know? So yeah, we should teach them as parents, but then how do we do it? That is my main question. How do we do it? It's really, really hard. Hi, Joan. Anasema, talk to your kids. Tell them how hard teenage pregnancy is for their lives, how to do it safely. We pretend we did not do this as teens when we become parents. As a man, talk to your boy and girl. Okay, true. Yeah, that is number one struggle that we have. Let me now start on the struggles. That is one of the struggles that we have, John. The fact that once we become parents, we distance ourselves with our childhood. We distance ourselves with our youth. We try so hard to be the perfect role model, we forget to be real. We forget to put ourselves in their shoes. Okay? I feel like I'm preaching. Hallelujah! Anyway, I have some water here, so let me sip a bit. Gashiri, karibu sana. Thank you for joining. I want to talk about that challenge, that struggle of balancing between being the parent, okay, being the best parent that you want to be, and actually being a realistic parent. Putting yourself in those shoes of that kid. You know, we're here telling our kids how we used to get A's in school, how you're always number one. Hakuna mzazi hata mmoja. Trust me, there is no parent who wants to tell their kids they struggled at school. Nobody. And I feel like setting that unrealistic goals for our kids is what pushes them to want to rebel, you know? Because they are like, ay, mom, kwani everyone in your generation was that perfect. You get? So I feel like in as much as we want to talk to them, we want to show them how good we were, we want to set an example to them, it's important to remember that these things we went through as kids. We went through the struggles as teenagers, and be real with them, okay? Don't allow them. This is another thing. Do not negotiate with them. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. As a good parent, it takes strength to actually be a good parent. Okay, don't negotiate with your kid. Ushaisikia mtu anaambiwa ati, you are a robber, umepatikana ukiiba simu, ukirudisha hiyo simu nitakubaya iPhone. Ushaisikia mtu, have you ever had somebody, an adult or in court, and a judge negotiating with a criminal? If you stop doing this, I'll do this for you. No. So I feel like even as parents, we should stop that mentality of negotiation with our kids. Stand your ground. That is wrong. That is wrong. Not stop doing that wrong thing so that I can do this for you. No. No. Because the moment you do that, even as a kid, and I'm talking as a toddler, unaona hii design ya ati baby acha kuguza maji nitakubaia sweetie. That is what translates to adulthood, where if you tell them to stop something, then you have to have a reward for that. And I know it's crazy. You can't tell them, if you stop hanging out with that bad group, then I'll take you to music school. It doesn't work like that, okay? So yeah, put yourself in the shoes of that kid. Try as much as possible to relate with them. But then again, do not put yourself in a position to negotiate with terrorists. Okay? Yeah, so that balance is also tricky. But all in all, it starts from when they're kids, okay? When they're small. Tell them if it's bad, it's bad. If this is wrong, this is wrong. And there are repercussions for that. Let your kid understand the consequences. Okay? Now, in as much as majority of us here don't have teenagers and we feel like we are too far from that moment when, they bring those shocking, your kid is coming home and he has mogoka over here and you don't know what to do, like, my babe, And then you're like, excuse me? Excuse and you're not sure how to even handle it, Like, it is a confusing world. It only starts when they're kids. If you have small kids, it's now, okay? And it starts with as little as the kid says a curse word and you go at them as if they killed someone. Not physically, don't beat them, but let them understand. Everybody knows their kid. I can't come here and tell you, give your kid lectures. That might not be the way your kid will understand, okay? If it takes a little spanking to make them understand, then do it, okay? If your kid is the emotional kind, then use that. Train them, okay? Hi, Waise. Okay, I said hi to you. Hey, homie anasema. Ndo kuingia nimekamdaro late. Anyway, nasikiza show. Thank you so much, homie. You're not late. We're just having a conversation on parenting. And Bramsim, karibu sana. Liz anasema, as we talk about pregnancy, let's not forget there's homosexuality too, especially on this side of... That's another conversation. That's another whole conversation that gives me chills. I am not homophobic, okay? I don't even know how I will handle if a kid came and told me, Mom, I feel this and that and that. I am not sure. Yeah? But that is an amazing topic to bring. How will you handle it if your kid was sent home from school because they got into a homosexual relationship with a student? How will you handle it? Or, your son kissed another boy in parade. How do you handle it? Have you ever thought of it? Because, God, it's a crazy world we're living in. And in as much as people want to make it seem like we are making the world easier with technology, it's actually making the real life complicated. Complicated. Because 1 minute, nobody knew there was anything like transgender. Right now, everybody wants to be a girl. Every girl wants to be a boy. And you can't do anything about it. Okay? You cannot question it because who are you to even know the authenticity of that claim? You don't know. You don't know. They have their phones throughout. They have access to cybers. They have access to laptops. They have access to all these sources of info. They're watching movies. Every movie right now has homosexuality and all these things. I am not saying it's bad. It's good. We are evolving. But then, how do you shield your kids from being influenced into it? Because I feel like if they were not exposed so much into these things, probably they will be as straight or as, what we term conventional as possible. But now there's all this whole side of the world that is exposing them, and I'm not sure. You can't just deny them the internet. You can't deny them phones. For how long can you even do that? Yeah, it's really hard. Liz, please let that conversation continue. What happens if your kid tells you that they are homosexual, or like your boy child has come home and he has told you, Dad, I feel like I'm gay. What then? Okay. Ali says, I'm listening. Karibu sana Ali, karibu sana pia. Patrick Hilton, umechelewa. And how you woke me up like, kwani leo hakuna talk. Here we are, but I'm glad you're here. So karibu sana. Andy anasema, it's disappointing for a girl to be pregnant during teenage. I do support a lot for child sex education during childhood. Thank you so much. But as we support child sex education, I also feel like it's also advisable that we have platforms where parents can be educated on the right way to actually introduce that topic. I feel like hata tukiambiangwa tuongeleshe watoto wetu, pia sisi tufahamishwe the right way. At what age are you supposed to be talking about the reproductive organ? At what point are you supposed to be talking about the changes? At what point are you supposed now to talk about both genders together? Yeah, because I feel like it will be overwhelming if you just sat your kid one day in the evening down and started bombarding them with the information. You know what? You're a boy. No, you do this. You do that. I feel like we are also lacking. Okay, fine, we can go on the internet and search, but how acceptable are the information we find there? Okay, so I feel like hata watoto wakifunzangwa, even if you're doing the sex education on our children, even as we should have a curriculum. We should have like a curriculum where we actually know when to actually say what. Because it's possible you're talking to your kid about sex and they didn't actually even know. Because honestly, if you mentioned sex to me at the age of say 14, 13, I felt like it was so much invasion of privacy. Don't even go as far as sex. Let's talk about menses. How many of the mamas, the ladies in the house, how many sat down with their parents or the mothers, and the mothers told them, you know what? At the age of 13, you're going to start your menses. Or at the age of 14, you're going to start your menses, and this is what happens. How many? Please raise your hand. Because for me, I don't remember having a conversation with my mother. I don't remember having a conversation with my mother about my menses. The way I knew that I was going to have my period, I remember was a classmate in primary school. I think it was in class 8. A classmate happened to start her menses early. And so because we didn't know what actually was happening, we were called in the dormitory. I wasn't a boarder at that point. So we were called by the matron in the dormitory, and she explained to us. And the way she explained it to us, oh my God. Please, if you were in my former primary school and you remember that conversation, it scared the crap out of me. Oh my God, she read the book of Leviticus. Jesus. I remember that conversation because she read the book of, is it Leviticus? Where they have all these rules, all these things about if you start your menses, you're not supposed to touch, you're supposed to wash your clothes, how. There's so all these things, like you're not supposed to come in touch with someone who is having her menses, and if you do, you're unclean for 7 days, and then you're supposed to pray a certain way so that you're cleansed because those menses have, oh my God, it was information I will never forget. But I also feel like that was not the way to talk to Novel, as in hujui, and then the first thing you hear is that you get your menses and you're unclean. Tell me you won't go crazy if you ever get your menses. So I feel like in as much as we are educating these kids, please let's know what to say, how to say it, when to say it. Okay? Because I feel a lot of us get misguided information. Because sasa hiyo information ya Leviticus, surely. I was scared of my menses until I think from 3. That's when I realized, it's normal. Every girl gets them. Hi, Chip Crew. How are you doing? Andy anasema, never hide. Yep, negotiation, discipline. Thank you. Oh, you're summarizing for us again. So, Luke anasema, how do teachers do it? They introduce the topic, make development, ask some questions, and from that, a teacher knows what to say and what not to say. Same case for parents. They should come out bravely and talk about these issues. I don't refuse that, and I totally agree with you, Luke, but some of us don't have that background, that teaching background, okay? And we, in as much as we know how to Google, we don't know how to get the right information for us to be able to dish it out to our kids. Sisemi hatuna information, tuko nayo, but then how and when is the problem? That is what I feel. So yes, we can do it as teachers do, but then I feel like we need to have an order, or somebody go out there and tell people how they're supposed to be doing. Or maybe we can do it as a real talk another day. Maybe. Hi John, unasema, yeah, we need to stop bribing our kids from an early age. If they do crappy things, pinch them and tell them plainly why it's crap. Thank you. Don't negotiate with your kids. Never negotiate with your kids. Hi Amaro, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. David Festas anasema lovely. Thank you for joining us. And Peter Omondi is following closely. Thank you. David is saying we are on point. Asante sana. Kamau, karibu sana. Gerard pia karibu sana. Seth anasema, my son is 7 years and I talk to him every day. I don't hide anything to him. Please give us an example of something you tell him. Please, Seth, if you don't mind it. How does the conversation go? Like, do you use the parable kind of talks? Like where you're telling him, you don't even use the actual words or the actual names, and you're telling them you'll be friends with your girl. Please tell us an example of the wording that you use. I will appreciate that. Hi Robert, karibu sana. Liz anasema, give us more details, please. Yes, thank you, Seth. Please give us a bit more details. And then, okay, yeah. Who is Alios? Anasema, Liz DeFrank, hapa penye hii maneno inatokea ni pale watoi wameingia mazoea za asubuhi. Hii inachangia mambo na mimba cause mzazi haezi jua mtoi anafanya nini huko nje asubuhi. Even if amea anaenda mazoezi, they don't follow up. Oh, the working out and yeah, the working out. I feel like what he's saying is we cannot control everything that our kids do. Yeah, is that okay? Better? Yeah, I feel like it's better. So everything that our kids do, we can't control it to the T. And I'm not here to actually say that we can. So I'm here so that you can open up why you think these certain things are happening. What are the challenges you pass through as a young parent yourself? What are some of these struggles that you feel we are struggling more than our parents maybe did? Okay? So yeah, let me know what you think. Sawa. Yeah, so let's talk about disciplining our kids in the new era. And I feel like this is a topic that majority of the older generation, or if you ask my mom about it, or I'm trying to adjust the lighting, sorry. I hope it's okay now. So I feel like there is a variation in how we term the disciplining of our kids, with all these child rights going on and all these terms being thrown around like child abuse and child molestation and disciplining. I feel like we are lost in between. We are not sure how much is too much. We're not sure how little is too little. And we are limited by the laws, by the constitution, to actually maybe even sometimes just look at our kids. So how much of discipline is too much? Now, because sai ndo unachapa mtoi anaingia Facebook and they start, they expose you there and everybody comes at you because you did something wrong. You spanked your kid, you beat your kid up. So how is it with disciplining? How different is our disciplining strategy as opposed to our parents? Because I feel like our parents could just beat us and you couldn't do anything. You just know that is wrong and you change. Right now, it is either you just look at them, talk to them, and hope it works, or nothing. Please tell me how you have been disciplining your kid. Hi, mother. How are you doing? Karibu sana. So I feel like discipline is another area. Okay, another area that we struggle with as young parents. My kid, like today, my kid will come and say a curse word. Maybe I did curse by mistake and he heard maybe, and he goes like, oh fuck. And then first thing, like when a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old says that, the first reaction is usually like, whoa, that's so cute, say it again. You know, we actually ask them to repeat it so that you're sure they said that word. You're like, or they talk rudely to someone and you're like there's this, I don't know why I watch so much clips online, but there's this small baby who was talking back to her teacher. She was on Steve Harvey's show or something, and she's there talking back at her teacher. She's been told she has been detained. She's on timeout because she misbehaved in class. And instead of being remorseful, apologizing for it, and, you know, doing what kids her age, she was only 3, I think. So instead of just being remorseful and saying, I'm sorry, and serving her timeout, she was there talking back at the teacher, actually even calling the teacher Linda. You know, she was like, you know, if I was not here, I will take a day off and go home, enjoy the rest of my life. And then I'm looking at that kid, I'm like, she's real. And then I rewinded. You know, now it got funny, you know? And at that point, it hit me. We won't say anything wrong at that point because she's just a kid. But at what point do they stop being just a kid to a point where you can actually spank that kid and tell that kid, you were wrong for talking to an adult like that? Yeah, because the more we continue applauding them, like, hey, oh, she's so sassy. Those are the terms that we use. She's sassy, classy, she has an attitude. You know, we are encouraging this generation of outspoken, bold girls and boys. And in my heart, I'm like, how thin is the boundary between sassy attitude and classy and you know all that, and indisciplined and rousy and ghetto and no offense and ratchet? What's the difference? That is the same chick who will in class 4 or 5 hit another chick and break their nose, and you will be there like, hey, she's a bad girl. Really, you know, where is the difference? How far is too far? When do you know when to start disciplining them? Yeah, because ni ngumu sana. Seth anasema he asks me so many questions, and that's where I get a chance to discuss with him a lot of things. Okay, Seth, I think we need to plan a session with you so that you can actually give us a few of the questions he asked and your responses, because I feel like most of us are clueless on how to answer these questions. Your kid brings up sex, trust me, it's gonna be another whole meaning of anxiety and panic, because some of us are not prepared, and some of us will actually beat the kid up because, well, ulisikia wapi hiyo vitu, and we're not there at school, a class of 30 people who come from different households, who see parents do different things. So there isn't really much we can do to control what our kids say and see and hear. So hi Peter, karibu sana. Liz anasema, I agree, it's a challenge. The parents should just do his or her part and leave the rest. You can only do too much. True, 100% I agree with you. There is only too much that a parent can do. And that is why it really hurts that at that point when that girl becomes pregnant or that boy becomes a gangster, it's the parent who get blamed. And like I said, you can't blame it all on them. Wanaenda shule, wanacheza huko nje. You can't control the gang she keeps. You can't control every single aspect of her life. And even if you can manage to do that, they still find ways. Okay? So you can't blame it all on the parent. It's a whole community kind of thing. Hi Seth, ati anajua vile watoto huingia kwa tumbo na kutoka. Okay, really? Because I feel like I am still one of the parents who tell our kids that we're going to buy a baby. Because I don't know how to explain the fact that a baby got into the womb. I can't explain that now, you know. It's really hard. So yeah, me too, Liz, Nico. Wow. Hi John, karibu sana. So we're talking about disciplining and how far is too far in this generation of outspoken young teenagers, young adults, these people who feel like they can express themselves and they have the right to express themselves. How do you discipline them without going the overboard, kind of the way we did with our parents? And yeah, because our parents used their muscles, and I feel like this generation, we are tasked with using our brain, you know, psychology to control our kids. We are not more of the physical, we are not more of the, you know, hands. And talking of discipline and talking of using our psychology, I feel like this then predisposes our kid to verbal abuse. I know, it is so crazy, because now you can't hit your kid, but you can tell your kid something that will damage them more than a spank that you will have given them, more than a pinch that you will have pinched them. You know, you tell a kid something, and every time they look at you, it triggers something, you know? So there's so many challenges, there's so many struggles that we have to work with right now, besides not knowing how to communicate with our kids about sex, education, not negotiating with them, disciplining them, use of psychological disciplining. It is hard. It is hard because one side of you wants to mold your kid by giving them all this motivational, you know, kind of standard of this is good if you do this, you know, talking to them. That's what I mean. But then you're angry, and at that point in time, you will say something to the kid. True or false? True or false? I feel like no parent who realized their daughter or their teenage daughter was pregnant, and the first thing they did was, oh, sorry, it happens, and we're gonna get through this. Yeah, no parent went like that. No parent. Every parent might have blown out and gone like, how did that happen? What were you thinking? What, you know, there's this tendency to blow out with our words because you can't actually hit them. And I feel like that carries more weight than actually a war. Serious. I feel like if you can spank a kid will feel pain, and that's it. Tomorrow they will be okay and they'll be done in the next 5 minutes. But you say a word to a kid, and especially between the age of 5 and 13, they do not forget. They do not forget. I can remember something I was told way when I was younger, and I can't remember something I was told when I was 17. Trust me. So words are really powerful, and the balance is really hard, you know. So John anasema, I have just logged in. Karibu sana. Thank you. I hope you contribute to our topic. We're talking about the challenges, the struggles, and the expectations, realities of us as the young parents, the millennial parents right now, the struggles that we're going through. Okay. Hi Alice Maina, karibu sana. Thank you for joining us. So Alios anajibu, Liz anasema, if wanakumbuka toi waende mazoezi, wanafaa waeke mtu ambaye ana follow up what they do in the field penye wanafanya mazoezi, and what time they do it, what time they come home, cause wengine wana take advantage ya kusema leo tumefika place kama hii in case or back home late. I agree with you, and it's really hard to actually even do that, because which adult will be responsible for being a babysitter to another teenager who is presumably the adult, you know? Ningumu, because there's also this thing about us as parents looking at our teenagers as though they're already adults, you know? They're at 14, they're at 15, but you expect them to behave like adults. But what we forget is they're transitioning. There is the transition between being a child and being an adult, and that is a bridge that is made of ice. Inaeza vunjika. It's a really delicate bridge between childhood and adulthood, and a lot can happen between this phase. Okay, so understanding that they are not actually adults and handling them as though they are transiting into another phase of life is a challenge as well. It's a challenge on itself. Okay, so sikatai, you can put an adult to watch over them when they're doing stuff and when they're going for those exercises, but then it makes them feel like then again they are children. Giving them a bit of trust. I feel like You know, if you show a kid you trust them, if you show a kid you trust them, then there's a higher chance they don't want to break that trust. They don't want to disappoint you. So they work hard to keep that trust. But if you show a kid you distrust them, then they will try to prove you right. Trust me. You know, there's this struggle of, we shindanga ukienda huko nje, shinda ukilewa. If a kid knows they don't drink, and you keep accusing them of drinking, at some point they will want to taste. Ni nini hii madhe anashindanga akiniambia na, you know? If your kids keep accusing a kid, it's like just a phase. Me, I don't know. It's like a rebellion thing. You keep accusing them of doing stuff, they will actually do those stuff. But if you show them you trust them, it's all a matter of developing that trust. Okay? You can tell me anything. You can talk to me about anything. And if only we can get to that point, I feel like there is no necessity to put a third party between you and your kid. Okay? So, the moment you introduce another person to actually watch over them, I feel like you put them at an arm length distance, and you're more likely to lose them than to bring them closer. Okay? That's just my take. That's just my take. Build more the trust where they can actually tell you anything they're going through. And I feel like before it gets out of hand, you will have handled it. So, I feel like that. So, Seth anasema, cause aliniuliza kama nimepata his younger brother through kissing. Nilimwelezea A to Z, cause niliona nikimdanganya nitampoteza. Wow. Seth, I want to see your 7-year-old son, cause that is really hard to have a conversation about. Hilary, umesema locked in. Thank you so much. Karibu sana. So let's keep having this conversation and actually talking about the challenges that we have, okay, as adults. So what is the limitation of disciplining your kids? Yeah. At what point do you start spanking them, or, you know, having mature adult talks of the wrongs and rights? At what point do you, you know, stop raising your voice? Unajua, do you ever stop and realizing maybe they are at an age where you should sit them down and talk to them smoothly and softly and let them understand? The point where you make them feel like adults, but then not to feel like they are over you. You know, it's a really challenging conversation to have. But anyway, as usual, I don't usually like coming to this live without any solutions or anything to, you know, to help with the process. So I will read my solutions. And before we do that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. I don't do real talk on YouTube channel. I do more of skincare, and even if I do real talk, it's usually a bit shorter and precise. Okay, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. I'll leave a link down here. Okay, so before we do that, let's talk about the do's and don'ts of parenting. Okay. My water. Okay. So, rule number one, I already talked about before. Do not ever negotiate with your children on the wrongs that they have done, okay? Stand your ground, know what is wrong and right, and start as early as when they're kids. Do not wait until they're teenagers to let them know black and white. And we have this assumption that mtoi ni mtoi tu. You know, you keep saying, ni katoto tu, achana ni mtoto tu, until they are too old for us to actually mold them. You should mold a tree when it is still young, okay? Don't negotiate with your children. Stand firm on what is wrong and what is right. There is no gray areas, so black and white it is, okay? 2, how to teach your toddlers. You do not teach a toddler like a toddler is an adult, okay? Don't go there tell the toddler, like maybe a toddler has cussed or ametusi mtu, and you there like, hiyo ni vibaya, and then you slap the kid. No, it has to come with a lesson, and before the lesson comes, you have nivo tu venye Luke alisema. First identify, where did you hear that curse word? Okay? Ulisikia hiyo matusi wapi? And then once you identify the source, you know, then maybe we will, if he had me say it, then I will stop doing it. I'll stop saying it, okay? If he had someone else say, then you will limit their access to this person. So know where they got the information from, and then let them know it's not appropriate, okay? And if they repeat it again, there will be consequences. So you have to talk to a toddler like a toddler, but then give him an adult lesson. Understand? So teaching a toddler, you have first identify the source of that bad habit. Because tukipata watoto, I hear they usually come in blank. You know, like wanakujanga with a blank page and a blank paper, and we are there writing what they're going to be for the rest of their lives. So do not negotiate with your kids. And yeah, don't negotiate with your kids, and teach toddlers by first identifying their source of information and then eliminating that source of information and making sure they understand there will be consequences, okay? 3, discipline your kids. And by disciplining, I don't mean beat them up, I don't mean lock them up, or I actually am not for the isolation kind of disciplining. Mimi sipendi hiyo detention. I don't like it. I really don't like it, because I feel like it's more emotionally disturbing than it is correctional, okay? So if you're disciplining your kids, first and foremost, don't discipline them when you're angry. Take time to calm down. Treat them like you would your adult person. If an adult person amekukosea, you don't outright go there and start backing outwards and confrontational things. You back down because you're the adult in the situation, and you know it could lead you to do harm to them, okay? So take time first to calm down. Once you calm down, call them, tell them what they did wrong. Ask them why they thought doing that was right by them. Hear their side of the story, because I feel like if you give them a chance to explain themselves, you might realize deeper issues than if you just outright call them out on their wrongs, okay? So train yourself to be a listening parent first before you make any drastic actions, okay? So disciplining comes first, hand in hand, by first listening to them, understanding them and where their behavior came from, and then from that you can determine the magnitude of your disciplining. You can determine the magnitude of your punishment, all right? If it calls for beating, do not beat your kid without explaining why you're doing it. I really liked how my mom used to discipline us, okay? My mom would pinch us. My mom didn't beat us by hakuwa anatumia kiboko. My mom used to use her hands, her pinching. So she would pinch us under our thighs. That's the most painful pinch you'll ever have. So she used to pinch us under our thighs, and as she pinches us, she would tell us, she would ask us, utarudia? Si unajua kutusi mtu ni vibaya? Yeah? Umesikia siku ingine you know, she would tell us why exactly she's pinching us, warn us against repeating it, and then make us promise not to do it again. Okay? So in as much as you're feeling the pain, somewhere deep down, you will actually know it's wrong and there are consequences for it, okay? Last but not least, it takes a strong person to be a parent. And kudos to Kesho Father's Day. I almost forgot. I had said that is the first thing I will start with today. Akiwa babasi mnasahaulikanga. Anyway. Happy Father's Day tomorrow to all the dads who stand up to be the fathers that their kids need. But let me finish up the last point and then we can discuss that later, okay? So being a parent takes a strong person. And the first thing I will tell you to do, balance between love and discipline, okay? Balance between love and discipline. Do not overlove your kid. Do not over-discipline your kid. Have a balance. Because I feel like some of us fear our parents more than we love our parents. And it's not our fault. It's because of how we were brought up. You will hear somebody say, my dad is so tough, we never had a personal relationship with them. Or my mom is too tough, we never had a personal relationship with, or yeah, something like that. So balance between love and discipline. Do not be the kind who always finds makosa kila siku. And do not be the kind who just praises your kid all the time. Find a balance between the two. All right? So find a balance between love and discipline. Have the strength to make tough decisions, because it's not every day that you'll be making swift yes or no decisions. Sometimes they're tough, and I'll go back to that Liz point. If your kid today came and told you she or he is homosexual, what will you do? Okay, so you have to have the strength to handle the toughest of things that are coming your way. Okay, the 2, do not let your child weigh you down. Actually, that is something I wanted to talk about. Don't let your kid weigh you down. People think parenting is easy. Ati sini mtoi tu, unazaa, unampikia, anakula, anakunywa, analala, anaamka, unamuosha. It is not as simple as that. Sometimes they weigh you down. Sometimes they overtake your life and you resent them for it. And the reason, that's why I say this is real talk. And I say it's real talk because I'll tell you as it is. People out there try to glam up parenting, making it seem like every day is a happy day, making it seem like every day is a joyous day with your kids. But truth be told, sometimes you resent those kids. True. Because you feel like they are weighing you down, like they're taking over your life, like there's nothing you can do as an individual. But don't let it come to that point, okay? Always find time for yourself, for taking care of yourself. As a dad, as a mom, always find time to recharge. Don't let them drain you. Hata kama ni toddlers, kwanza hao ndo wabaya kabisa. They will weigh you down, you will go mental. You will have depression over kids. And people will be wondering, you will go mental because there are so many things going down. Even the teenagers, if they are rebellious, it's not your fault. Don't kill yourself over it. Your kid is a gangster. It wasn't your fault, really. Okay? So don't let them weigh you down. Look for ways to rejuvenate yourself as a parent and give the love that they deserve, okay? You can't love them if you don't love yourself enough. Okay? Yeah, so 4, stay calm, especially on heated moments. That is something that I have already discussed. And last but not least, convey the rights and the wrongs in reasonable ways. Ni ile tu yenye nilianzia nayo nikasema, stop pretending to be gods. Stop pretending to be angels. Stop pretending like you were born in heaven and dropped here to be their parents. You did wrongs. You were rebellious. You were not always the perfect child. Make them relate. Okay? So if you make yourself relatable and show them how you raised yourself up from that point to the point that you are now as a parent, I feel like it's a better way of teaching them than actually pretending you're on the high horse and you're untouchable and you're perfect. And I'm done. Thank you so much for joining us. Patrick anasema mko na mazoea ya kutusahau. Akipole Patrick. Si nimesema happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day tomorrow. What are you guys doing for your daddies and your baby daddies and your baby daddies to be? And it's really an amazing day. I really don't even know what I'm going to do. I hope Banangu ametoka. I don't know what I'll be doing for him tomorrow, but I hope you do something special for your dad. I hope your wives do something special for you guys too. Yeah, so happy Father's Day. When you're watching asubuhi, happy Father's Day. Tunawapenda. Do you know how much it takes for a man to stand up and be the dad? You don't know. Mia kuna kitu naheshimu kama mwanaume. Mwanaume mwenye anajitolea. You give up all those things to be daddies. Thank you guys. Tunawapenda Patrick, hatujawasahau. So Luke anasema hebu ongeza volume wasikie vizuri na wenye huwa tunawakumbuka siku ya Valentine's na Mother's Day. Pole, I apologize. Yaki guys, you take things personally. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I really like these talks. So I'm waiting for you guys to now comment down below. Tell me what you think about today's topic, what you've learned, and yeah, see you in the next video. Andy anasema big ups. Andy leo umeanguka notes. Kwani umekuwa happy? You haven't updated people on their notes. So, yeah, happy Father's Day. And again, let me just mention, I know my time is up, but just to mention, daddies, it doesn't take your money. It doesn't take you building big houses and buying all these things to make a good dad. Your presence is what counts. It's what counts. Your presence in that kid's life is what counts. Yeah, just saying, those who tell their girlfriends, I can't be the dad to your kid, or you neglect them because you don't have money. It's never about money. Sometimes it's all about the presence of that man in that kid's life. The first kick on the ball, the first conversation, kama said, kudos. The first conversation you have with your son about their girlfriend, about the sex topics, and those are the things that really matter, being there. Yeah. So Andy umeenda. Okay, bye. Liz anasema, thanks, I at least loved today's topic. Thank you so much, Liz. I really appreciate your contribution to today's topic. It was amazing. I really like that, and I appreciate you. Have a lovely night, and I'll see you next Friday. Hi, Andy. Oh, not next Friday. We can talk in between the line. I'm always around. Andy, good night too. Adhina anasema, usiende, I came late. Sasa Adhina nitakusaidia aje yake. But we were just talking about general conversations on parenting, okay? Challenges, the struggles, the internet, all these things blowing up on our faces, and we don't know how to handle it as parents. That's what we were talking about. So you can either watch it maybe baadaye kidogo or catch up. Yeah. John anasema, I'm longing to be a father. Guy John, tutakuombea. May you find the right vessel to carry the seed of your generation. I spoke like a grandmother. Anyway, may you find the one to make you worthy of being a father. Dave, come up. Oh, may God find you worthy of being a father, okay? Dave anasema, can I have your number? No, please. Thank you. John anasema, before locals zinikute. Hazitakuta. Andy, bado lazima to close. Oh, it's okay. And then anasema, save this live show. I definitely will. And I'll see you next Friday. If you haven't also subscribed to my channel, please make sure to do so. Nitaacha link hapa chini. Support a girl, okay? Support a girl. Ndo hata nikikuja hapa, nakuja na kitu more than too much, At least next time nakuja na kasoda, Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? And tell someone else to do the same. Share it. And let's grow together. Sasa, see you next Friday. Have a lovely night. Kesho watu wasome kanisa vizuri. I will see you when you see me. John anasema amen to that. Happy Father's Day finally. So this is the Father's Day edition of my Real Talks. Bye guys.